It's Thursday, June 4th, and thanks for watching and listening to the Day Weather Podcast. Lots to talk about, although we're just kind of in a summer routine right now. We've got some changing weather this weekend into early next week that I think will get a lot of people's attention, as a Pacific trough and a cold front, which has been stalled off the west coast, is going to come into the Intermountain West. So we've got changes coming this weekend and next week. Until then, it's going to be warm. We're going to continue with these afternoon and evening thunderstorms. And I think the risk today in this region from these thunderstorms will be not so much heavy rain or hail, but strong wind gusts. Yesterday, out at Laramie Regional Airport, there was a wind gust of 74 miles an hour. So you could have some strong wind gusts with these thunderstorms as the low layers of the atmosphere are pretty dry. So be on the lookout for that. Now, much needed rain is coming for areas west of the Continental Divide this weekend. Western and southwestern Wyoming, parts of western Colorado, Utah, Idaho, getting into some needed rain. Much cooler temperatures are coming next week. Temperatures this week have been far above average. Well, for the first 3 days of next week, they go far below normal. Severe weather is likely this weekend. This is going to be especially true for anybody watching this podcast in eastern Wyoming, western South Dakota, western Nebraska, and parts of northeast Colorado. Be ready for wind this weekend, campers. We're going to see a lot of wind across portions of Wyoming and also Colorado. So if you're going to be pulling a trailer or a camper, you're going to need to be ready for some strong winds. In addition, if you're going to be heading to the great outdoors this weekend, going to be wet in many areas, especially on Saturday. Now let's take a look at why. This is the upper level pattern with the jet stream showing a dip. This is for Saturday. The high pressure ridge that currently is overhead right now shifts to the east. This allows the west coast low that's been stalled all week to come in. You see this little guy right here? This guy is an upper level low that gets kicked through the Great Basin and right across the Rockies over the course of the weekend, while this main low drops south like this. Here is Tropical Storm Cristobal. As it heads up into the Gulf Coast, it'll bring a lot of rain to those areas there. So we have unseasonably cold weather out west, really warm air up here, and then a tropical storm. So it'll be interesting is we got a tropical storm here this weekend, and we got this guy here that'll make it snow up here, and we've got tropical weather down here. So a lot going on with the weather. Now, as we go into Sunday, notice this broad trough comes into the western United States and moves closer into the Intermountain West, while the high pressure shifts into the nation's midsection and the tropical storm moves up into the Gulf Coast areas. So we're going to be looking at a big drop in temperature here as we get into Sunday and Monday. You're going to notice east of the Continental Divide through Sunday, it stays very warm. West of the Divide, it really gets colder. Also, notice all of these black lines, lines of equal pressure is the best way to describe them. This is a very strong pressure gradient. So what we're going to see here is going to be some very strong winds developing this weekend and probably up into Monday. By Monday afternoon to Tuesday, the low begins to head more east, and the colder weather now gets east of the Continental Divide by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Here's the precipitation forecast through Monday morning. And what we want to show you here is the rain possibilities in western Wyoming, eastern Idaho, and into Utah. This area has been really, really dry, but there should be some good rain with showers and thunderstorms as usual. There'll be winners, there'll be losers. Some of you will get some really good rain in this area. Some of you will not get as much, but this is the best chance we've seen in a while for western Colorado and western and southwestern Wyoming to get wet. Notice east of the divide, it's not as wet, although we've got a lot of activity up here in the Dakotas. But these little strips right here are indications of thunderstorms that will develop east of the divide this weekend. And this region here is going to be under the gun for severe thunderstorms up into northeastern Wyoming as well, although it doesn't show as much precipitation there. There likely is going to be severe weather this weekend, and we'll take a closer look at that. Yes, we're throwing back in a snow graphic. We have it cold enough this weekend that the high mountains of western Wyoming, Idaho, into Oregon, Northern California, Montana, yeah, it's going to probably snow up into Yellowstone Park this weekend, the Wind River Mountains, far western Wyoming, even the Uintas and high Wasatch could see some flakes of snow with this trough coming on in. Now, I want to talk a little bit about wind. For a lot of folks, getting outdoors is real important this time of year. A lot of folks are driving RVs, pulling campers. These are the forecasted wind gusts for Friday afternoon. Notice they're not bad at all. A wind gust of 20 miles an hour in Wyoming is nothing, and even into Colorado here, there's not much going on. But notice this area right here of increasing wind in the desert southwest. This is going to grow and expand. So while Friday looks to be a warm, nice summer day, look at the wind gusts Saturday. The wind gusts really pick up. So if you're headed out to Seminole Reservoir, you're heading that I-80 stretch, yikes, the winds really ramp up this weekend with this trough coming in. That's Saturday's wind gusts. And here's your wind gusts for Sunday. So even back into Utah, the western slope of Colorado, we're just getting into a lot of wind. Even out into eastern Colorado, it's going to be quite windy. Windy up into Nebraska. This is because of that big pressure gradient we showed you, the contrast between the high coming in to the middle part of the country this weekend and the low pressure trough coming in from the west. We just got a lot going on with this system. Now, temperature-wise, look at the contrast. This is for Sunday. Sunday's temperatures along this line in east are still going to be very warm. West of that divide area, temperatures are going to remain very cold and something to watch out for. However, a little bit further down the road, we see that cold air expand east of the divide, and we're going to see those colder temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday, and also on Monday spread east. However, by Thursday and into Friday, the trough is gone, high pressure moves in, and temperatures are going to be warming up again. Thanks for watching and listening to the Day Weather Podcast. We'll talk to you tomorrow.